Let's get started. Number 10, you can do basic math. You know how to multiply and divide without counting on your fingers. In medieval Europe, this makes you a wizard. Most people couldn't calculate anything beyond simple addition. Even nobles relied on specialists to handle numbers. If you walked into a medieval market and quickly calculated that 17 times 23 equals 391, people would stare at you like you just performed a miracle. The concept of zero hadn't even fully caught on in Europe yet. They were still using Roman numerals, which make multiplication a nightmare. Your ability to do fifth-grade math would qualify you as one of the greatest minds in the kingdom. Kings would fight over who gets to employ you, or they'd just make you king because clearly God gave you supernatural abilities. Number 9, you have a lighter. You can create fire instantly. Do you understand what this means to medieval people? Fire was precious. It took real effort to start. People carried burning embers between locations because relighting a fire was such a hassle. Then you show up, flick your thumb, and summon flame from a tiny rectangle. You would be worshipped. Fire was associated with divine power across every culture. Prometheus stole it from the gods. Moses saw God in a burning bush. And here you are, creating it on command like it's nothing. Medieval peasants would assume you either stole power from heaven or you are a god walking among them. A single Bic lighter would make you the most powerful person anyone had ever seen. Number 8, you're tall with good teeth. Modern nutrition has made us giants. The average medieval man was around 5'6". If you're even average height today, you'd tower over most people. They'd assume you were nobility just based on your size. But your teeth would really freak them out. Medieval dental care was non-existent. By age 30, most people had rotting, missing, or brown teeth. Then you smile and reveal a full set of straight white teeth. That's not normal. That's not human. Kings and queens had terrible teeth. Peasants had worse. Nobody had teeth like yours. They'd assume you were blessed by God, preserved by magic, or not entirely human. Your smile would be evidence of divine favor. Number 7, you know germ theory. You understand that tiny invisible creatures cause disease. This knowledge alone could make you the greatest healer in history. Medieval medicine was guesswork at best. They balanced humors. They drained blood. They prescribed mercury. Then you show up saying, wash your hands, boil your water, and clean your wounds. People who follow your advice start surviving injuries and illnesses that killed everyone else. You would seem like a prophet. You'd know to avoid certain wells during outbreaks. You'd know to quarantine the sick. You'd know that the rats carry something dangerous. This isn't magic, it's 8th grade biology. But to them, you can see the invisible forces of death and command people to avoid them. Number 6, you have glasses. You pull out a pair of glasses and suddenly you can see things far away, or read tiny text. Medieval people would lose their minds. Spectacles existed by the late medieval period, but they were rare, crude, and only for reading. Modern glasses are lightweight, clear, and seemingly magical. You put them on and gain enhanced vision. Take them off and you're normal again. And if you have sunglasses, you can look directly at the sun without going blind. You have shields for your eyes. You might as well be wearing enchanted armor for your face. Kings would offer you anything for such powerful artifacts. Number 5, you own a phone. Even a dead phone with no signal would make you a god. It's a glowing rectangle that shows images, plays sounds, and contains more knowledge than every library in Europe combined. Even without internet, your phone has a calculator, a flashlight, a camera, stored photos, and games. You could show them pictures of your world, flying metal birds carrying hundreds of people, buildings that touch clouds, machines that move without horses. They would fall to their knees. If your phone still had any battery left, you'd become the most powerful person on the continent. The light alone would be considered miraculous. The moving pictures would convince everyone you carry a portal to another realm. Number 4, you know what's going to happen. You remember history. You know which kingdoms will rise and fall. You know which battles will be won and lost. You know when plagues will hit. You know when famines will come. This makes you an oracle. Tell a king that his enemy's army will arrive from the north in 3 days, and he'd better position his forces by the river, and when you're right, you become his most trusted advisor. Get a few predictions correct, and people will believe you can see the future, because from their perspective, you can. You'd know about the Black Death before it arrives. You'd know about the Mongol invasions. You'd know which pope comes next. This knowledge is power beyond anything medieval people could imagine. Number 3, you have medicine. A basic first aid kit would make you the greatest physician in history. Antibiotic ointment alone would save countless lives from infected wounds. Pain relievers would seem like miracle drugs. Bandages that stick to skin without tying. Antiseptic that prevents rot. If you had actual antibiotics, you could cure diseases that killed kings. Medieval royalty died from infections you could treat with a week of amoxicillin. You wouldn't even need much. A small bottle of pills and some basic supplies would establish you as the most powerful healer anyone has ever seen. Kings would keep you close. They'd give you anything to ensure you're there when they get sick. Number 2, you can read and write. Universal literacy is a modern invention. In medieval Europe, reading was rare. Writing was rarer. Most nobles couldn't do either. Then you show up casually reading documents, writing notes, and doing both quickly and fluently. You can read Latin letters even if you don't know Latin. You can write faster than monks who trained for decades. And you can probably do basic printing style letters that are clearer than most scribes' work. This alone puts you in the educated elite. Combine it with your knowledge of math, science, and history, and you're clearly the smartest person anyone has ever met. Kingdoms need smart people. Smart people run kingdoms. Number 1, you understand how everything works. You know why the sun rises. You know why seasons change. You know what thunder actually is. You know the earth goes around the sun, not the other way around. You know about gravity, about weather patterns, about why volcanoes erupt. Every natural phenomenon that terrified medieval people, you can explain. You know why ships disappear over the horizon. You know why the moon changes shape. You know why eclipses happen and when they'll happen next. This makes you the wisest person who ever lived. You carry the accumulated knowledge of human civilization in your head. Medieval kings surrounded themselves with wise advisors. You wouldn't be an advisor, you'd be the king, because clearly, whatever god or force chose to bless you with this knowledge meant for you to rule. Either that, or they'd burn you as a witch. It really could go either way. The gap between you and medieval people isn't intelligence. They were just as smart as us. It's accumulated knowledge. Everything you know casually took humanity thousands of years to figure out. You inherited all of it for free just by growing up in the modern world. Drop any of us into the past with just what's in our heads, and we'd seem like visitors from the future, because that's exactly what we'd be. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them. Here is another video you might enjoy. Go check that out.